Welcome to Be Less Stupid. I'm your host, Jon Hotchkiss. I want to take just a few moments to talk about being liberal and free speech. I'm troubled by recent moves by the big social media companies to restrict or silence some conservative voices. And well, I thought it was important to discuss this because of YouTube's new policy to demonetize the channel of a guy named Steve Crowder. Now, to be 100% clear, I am liberal. I'm so liberal, I think that a mother should be able to kill her kid up until the second semester of college. And I hate the president, his awful policies, and his criminal behavior. I mean, just check out the videos on my channel, okay? I heard about this guy, Steve Crowder, a few days ago. I really don't know much about him, except I see that he has like 4 million subscribers, which quite frankly is very impressive for a YouTube channel not about putting on makeup. Anyway, I watched a few of Crowder's videos. I guess he's a conservative and a comedian. I have no idea about the specifics of his politics or if he's funny. And the truth is, it doesn't matter. The reason that he's drawn YouTube's ire is that he made a bunch of comments about a guy from the website VOX, and that guy thought he was being harassed. So he told a bunch of other journalists he was being harassed, and they wrote about it too. Cut to YouTube's decision to demonetize this guy Crowder's channel. Look, this video is not about whether or not a journalist on the internet felt he was being harassed by some other dude. I'm sure that he did feel harassed. And this isn't about a person being denied their freedom of speech because YouTube is not the government. That said, to be clear, the First Amendment guarantees all Americans freedom from government actions that would limit their speech. The First Amendment, however, does not provide individuals protection from others' exercise of free speech, except under certain very specific situations like, say, hate speech or inducement to violence. What this guy from VOX has experienced is mocking and trolling, no worse than what he'd hear if he'd argue with someone he disagreed with at a political rally where groups with opposing views had faced off. Look, liberals are making a huge mistake by policing conservative voices they don't like and demanding that social media platforms sanction or silence them. That's just not who we are. And this silencing of conservative voices isn't just happening on the web. It's happening on a lot of college campuses too. I'm talking to you, students at Berkeley. Some liberals have forgotten what it means to be liberal. And this will ultimately hurt liberal causes because policing speech is terrible for liberals politically too. Instead of forcing conservatives and Trump's base to defend their cruel policies of killing and locking up immigrant kids, the president's obstruction of justice, the cruel civil rights violations of the transgendered, we now have to find new ways to twist our own moral compass and history into a pretzel logic in order to defend limits on free speech. Liberals deal with ugly, hateful speech by shining a light on it. Light is the most effective disinfectant to hateful speech. Other useful tools include changing the channel, clicking on a different video, and earplugs. All of that said, I do think it's the height of irony that a conservative like, say, Ben Shapiro over at the Daily Wire is suddenly a free speech advocate. After all, he personally supports multiple limits on free speech when it dovetails nicely with his own political beliefs. For example, conservatives advocate for restricting the free speech of federally funded women's health care providers who then are denied federal funds if they refer patients to clinics that provide abortion. I also feel confident that Ben Shapiro supports criminalizing flag burning. So his indignation rings hollow. Shapiro was also a Trump supporter, and Trump has found numerous ways to limit free speech. He ordered former staffers not to testify before Congress. Trump ordered the EPA to not disclose certain findings on climate change. Trump has repeatedly threatened to tighten libel laws. Trump presides over a White House that hasn't had more than 2 or 3 press briefings in 2019. Trump also consistently refers to the press as the enemy of the people. In closing, let me add that it is imperative for all liberals to support broad free speech protections, including for even the most unpopular expression. There is no civil rights movement, no anti-war movement, no LGBTQ rights movement, no feminism movement, no Me Too movement without the First Amendment's protections for unpopular speech or speech that offends. For Be Less Stupid, I'm the host, Jon Hotchkiss, and I'll see you next time.